NASA eliminates chief scientists and other jobs at its headquarters. NASA eliminating its chief scientists and other roles as part of efforts by the Trump administration to pare back staff at the agency's Washington headquarters. The cuts affect about 20 employees at NASA, including Catherine Calvin, the chief scientist and a climate science expert. The last day of work for Dr. Calvin and other staff members will be April 10th. Now, that could be a harbinger of deeper cuts to NASA's science missions and a greater emphasis on human spacecraft flight, especially to Mars. During President Trump's address to Congress last week, he said, "We're going to lead humanity into space and plant the American flag on the planet Mars and even far beyond." Trump did not give a timeline for astronauts to reach the red planet, and during an interview on Fox News on Sunday, he said it was not a top priority. "Is it number one on my list?" he said. "No, it's not really." He'd added, "It'll be a great achievement." The administration sent notice to Congress on Monday that NASA was abolishing the Office of the Chief Scientist and the Office of Technology, Policy and Strategy. This is short-sighted and hugely alarming, Zoe Lofgren, Democrat of California and the ranking member of the House Committee on Science, Space and Technology, said. Trump's assault on science continues, and if you wanted a playbook on how to lose to China in every technological race, this is it, she said. Bhavya Lal, who served as the Associate Administrator for Technology, Policy and Strategy when the office was created in 2021, said the purpose of the office was to provide rigorous, quick-turn, data-driven, and objective analysis to decision makers at NASA and the White House on issues that often cut across federal agencies. The issues included the economics of removing space debris and shaping how future activities on the moon would be governed. The work of the office was not just about getting to the moon, Dr. Lau said. It was about laying the groundwork for sustainable lunar exploration. The office also made sure that NASA's push for innovation was balanced with thoughtful consideration for its long-term impact, she said. The eliminated positions include the chief technologist and chief economist for the agency, which were part of the Technology, Policy and Strategy Office. Chief technologist positions at NASA centers like the Johnson Space Center in Houston and the Kennedy Space Center in Florida are not affected, the notice said. The agency is also cutting several positions related to diversity, equity, and inclusion in the Office of Equal Opportunity. The notice said that NASA estimated severance costs would be about $1.2 million. To optimize our workforce and in compliance with an executive order, NASA is beginning its phased approach to a reduction in force known as a RIF. Cheryl Wheeler, a NASA spokeswoman, said in an email. A small number of individuals received notification Monday that they are part of NASA's RIF. Eligible employees could opt for early retirement, Mrs. Wheeler said. The Democratic House staff members said they are worried deeper cuts at NASA would follow. Last week, the Planetary Society, a nonprofit that promotes space exploration, raised alarms that the Trump administration could be considering slashing the budget for NASA's science activities by half. The job eliminations announced on Monday are more symbolic and certainly less impactful than some of the other numbers we're hearing for budget or further RIFs. Casey Dreyer, Chief of Space Policy at the Society, said. Dr. Calvin was appointed as NASA's chief scientist January 2022. Since 2008, she's been a researcher in Pacific Northwest National Laboratories Joint Global Change Research Institute in College Park, Maryland, and she was named chair of the working group of the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, a United Nations body that supplies scientific information to governments as they work on national climate policies. The role of the chief scientist has been to advise the NASA administrator and other top officials on strategic planning. Dr. Calvin is the agency's 11th chief scientist since 1982. The position was previously eliminated in 2005 during the presidency of George W. Bush and was recreated in 2011 when Barack Obama was president. The chief scientist position is separate from that of the associate administrator who runs NASA's Science Mission Directorate, Nicola Fox. This is from New York Times on DNYUZ. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Please support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support, and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.